Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's a me, Majority, out here today for a new installment of, wait for it, Majority Speaks returns. This time I wanted to switch it up. I showed a lot of love to Sega and Sonic, and I think a lot of people think I'm very biased, and they're probably right. But I definitely have appreciation for the opposition. Mario. He's the icon. He started gaming as we know it today. And I am a little googly-eyed when it comes to some of the titles, but not all of them. And I think you'll see that in today's edition, which really examines Mario from a critical lens, from his past to the present. Today's Majority Speaks is the Plumber Boy Edition. We're actually going to roll the clock back a little bit and delve into an early Mario. Not the earliest, but definitely one that, goes back in time quite a bit. So let's go back into the minds of many as we delve into my impressions and experience of the good, the bad, and everything else in Super Mario World.
It's a me, Mario.
Oh, I knew it.
What's up, world? Super Mario World. Oh man, I have a history with this game. And it's not like a awful history, it's just a very meh history, in the words of Cloud. Meh. Or his gestures anyway. I don't have many feelings about this game. I first owned it on the SNES Mini, which is kind of late. This game came out in 1991, I want to say. Or 1990 even. And I've never had an opportunity to play it. I had sold my Wii before the Virtual Console really became big, or if it even started offering SNES games. The 3DS, I owned the old 3DS model, and I just never really cared to go out of my way to find a way to play this game. It never meant much to me. I guess it had cool looking animation, but I was never so compelled to play it. When I played this on the SNES Mini, I got to a certain area of the game where I stopped. I'm sure if you played this game to the end, you know which portion that is. But I have feelings about the game. They're mixed. They're good and bad. And I want to just be honest with my feelings and just share them, put them out there, and see what other people think. You can let me know at any point in the comments what you think about Super Mario World. What do you think are the good and bad of the game? I'm totally open to hearing about people who gush over it or absolutely hate it or somewhere are in the middle, kind of like me. But this is my experience with Super Mario World, the good and the bad. Let's start with some of the good. Alright, so as I said before, this game is beautiful. It is really striking visually. It's very easy on the eyes. I think if you compare it to the textures produced by the Nintendo Entertainment System for the first 3 Mario games, this one is definitely an upgrade. It looks good, it sounds good, the animations are cool, in-game and even in the overworld. The idea of the Mario overworld is really well implemented here too. I know in Mario Bros. 3 they toyed with the overworld in a way where you progress on the overworld and there's like some level variance, but in this one there's secrets in the overworld, and that can be one of the most exciting things. I actually really like some of the moments where you find hidden switches that affect in-level layout, that like add blocks and make it easier for you. Those are some of the most rewarding exploration elements on a 2D overworld, which is kind of crazy in and of itself. With that being said, one of the biggest pitfalls, or things that I think kind of is in the bad here, is also the overworld. There's a point around World 5, I think it's like the Forest of Illusion is what it's called, where the overworld just becomes really confusing and you feel trapped if you haven't discovered a secret exit. And I think they push the secrets a little too hard because there's some that just don't make any sense. There's one where you have to get a key in an aquatic level, and the key is hidden in the wall. Like you have to swim through the wall to get to that key. I somehow managed to see that key at one point as I was like swimming through the level, but I don't think it's really visible to the naked eye. But with that being said, I have to say that one of the biggest advents of Super Mario World that's notable today is the cape. You know, the cape is the upgrade that lets you soar through the level if you gain enough speed. You know, I guess they kind of did that for Mario Bros. 3 where you had the power meter and you were running, and then, you know, with the Tanuki suit, you could like start flying. The cape is really cool here because it's like that, but you can kind of like float up and down through the level. I think when you do it right and are in the right level for it, it can be one of the most liberating feelings. And, you know, just that feeling of satisfaction of being able to soar past the whole level like this, it's really cool, especially when you're kind of running through this game. To that point, though, with this being one of the most liberating things, it feels like it's not put into great practice in many of the levels. There just aren't so many opportunities to use it to its fullest extent. You can use it to do things like crush some of the dry bones or to spin attack, and you know that's useful in levels either where you're running or you're underwater. But I don't find that it's really easy to go soaring through a level and, you know, like not get interrupted by some blocks. There's like a famous instance of this for me where it's like a lava level, and yes, you can generate enough momentum to go flying, but you'll end up falling into the lava pit if you're not careful. Also, for every great upgrade, there may or may not be one that's not as great. In this case, Yoshi. Now, this is his first introduction as far as I know, and I'm sure people can use him in a useful way. I think actually one of the coolest things about Yoshi is when you do, and you digest like a Koopa shell that gives you, you know, spurts fire, or if you get the wings on Yoshi, you can fly through the level. But I find that Yoshi, for the most part, just feels very awkward to control, and that he's not so useful. You can get a little extra air, but it is a buffer as far as like, you know, keeping your health, but your health isn't even something you really need in this game. You don't need like to have so many buffers to prevent you from getting hit, because in general the game is mostly easy. I don't think there were so many moments that really proved difficult. I also don't know what the rhyme or reason is for like when Yoshi gets like the fire or when he gets the wings. If someone knows that, you can leave it in the chat or in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. Now, I do want to talk about some things that I do really like about Super Mario World, including just kind of like the extras. Now, usually in a Mario game, whether it's 2D or 3D, there's collectibles. Like there's the collectible red coins that, or you know, you can get all the stars, or you can collect the 3 coins per every level. In this case, there's 5 coins for every level, but they're optional. And what they do is they give you a 1-up. Now, I really like going for those 5 coins, but there's no obligation to do so as far as completion. And I think that's actually, it makes it really unique. I personally prefer that, because that way the emphasis is really just on enjoying the level. And if you want to try and get the 1-up, you can. At one point, you know, within like the first 2 or 3 worlds, I remember having like 30 lives. And, you know, part of that was from collecting the big coins. Part of that was from collecting coins. Part of that was from other things, like at the end of every level, there's a field goal where if you cross the, you know, the tape, you get a bunch of stars, and they let you play a mini game where you can get more coins. There's mini games inside the level where you can try and hit the blocks, and you know it'll produce a 1-up. There's hidden 3-up mushrooms, 1-up mushrooms. There's just a lot of surprises within every level, which I think is probably one of the most charming aspects of Super Mario World, and what makes it kind of enjoyable as far as a platforming adventure. With that being said, one game the area dramatically fails in is the bosses. It's very anticlimactic bosses. Okay, Bowser's pretty good at the end, but I don't think that the game really holds up so much as far as the bosses that it produces. And it's kind of a shame because, even like the standard Bowser boss battle at the end of every Mario 1 sequence, or, the Koopaling sections and in the Mario Bros. 3, those were pretty exciting. These are kind of just like slap in the face dumb. Some of them are, a little challenging, but very underwhelming in the grand scheme. And I think that's just kind of how I feel about the game in general. It feels underwhelming. It feels like it plays wrong. It plays differently than Mario Bros. 1 and 3, which it feels like it should play more similarly to. It has like kind of a physics to the running that doesn't feel the same as in those games. I think the aspect ratio, while it might be the same, Mario takes up like a little more surface area or something, so it like the running feels different. And I know people say, oh, Mario plays faster than Sonic. Well, explain this. Is this the fastest Mario goes in Super Mario World? And this is the one that's a comparison to Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Sega Genesis? Y'all are crazy. And even with the cape, he's not going that fast. My, typical Sonic run goes way faster than this. So I don't understand that logic. I don't think this game is like the best example of Mario platforming. I do think it's a great example of Mario exploration. I think it's almost unmatched in some ways in terms of the 2D exploration. It has its own kind of unique identity, and it's very distinguished, and it makes you want to explore the overworld and the levels to figure out more secrets in the overworld. But as far as a platforming adventure, I don't know that I personally care for it that much. I'm glad I played it. It was a good time, and it's good to add to my library of games played. What do you think about Super Mario World? Have you played it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon. Alright, so as you can see, I'm not all gushy-eyed about Mario, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate him. Especially when it comes to my favorite console, the Nintendo 64. Take a look for this interesting hardware review on the console.
It's me, Drunk Mario!
Hi. Are you tired of needing 3 hands to play all of your classic Nintendo 64 games? Well, boy, have I got the solution for you. It's me, Majora T, and I'm here today to talk to you about Retrobit's Tribute 64 Controller. Now, personally, I don't have any problems with the classic Nintendo 64 controller, but I wanted to give this a shot. People seem to hate on the thing. This is the box for the Tribute N64 controller. As you can tell, yeah, the font and everything looks nice. Hey, who's that guy? And it goes into some of the specifications on the back, such as cord length and, that it's compatible with your Nintendo 64. But the issue is that once you take it out, there's no getting that thing back in. I decimated my box for this controller just by taking it out. And, that's a real shame because I'm a collector. I like to collect things. I like to collect video games, video game merchandise. And also, when you look at Retrobit's other products, they are the ones who made this amazing Sega Genesis wireless controller box and even protective case. So, why does the Tribute 64 get no love? I don't know, but Kobe, that one's going in the trash.
I'm recording, don't worry.
But what good is a controller if not to play games? We're going to test it out on Mario 64 in honor of Majora T Speaks Plumber Boy Edition. This is quite a long controller. We'll get into the cord length later. I'll do a little comparison with the standard N64 controller. And here we go!
It's me, Mario.
Alright, so the absolute beauty of the Tribute 64 controller is that it has two prongs, one fitted for your left hand and one for your right. The control stick is in a nice place for your left thumb, and the A and B buttons are not too far off as far as keeping them parallel to your other thumb. I'm playing Mario 64 pretty easily here. I'm not having much trouble jumping around or doing my standard maneuvers. There are a couple buttons on the back, which I'll show you in a little bit, which are making my jumps a little confusing, but everything is pretty much where I remember it. Now let's take a little look at some flying action, one of the harder things to do in Mario 64. Ah, shucks, I lost it there at the end, but that's pretty smooth flying, Mario. That's how Falco would say it anyway. Yeah, this controller's working pretty good and all. I'm enjoying it. I think it's real easy to kind of breeze around in a 3D platformer, and I know a lot of people say like 3D platformers on the N64 haven't aged beautifully because of the camera and everything, but everything seems to be working just fine for me. The fact that I was able to do this while just recording a video with my phone in the background is kind of testament to the usefulness of the controller, the fact that, or its competence rather. Here, can I not wake the piranha plant? Nope, I woke it, but I did not take damage. It's pretty good if you ask me. And in general, I've just enjoyed using this thing. I used the Retrobit controller to play through Ocarina of Time most recently. And, you know, I really didn't have any problems. Here I'm showing you the difference between, you know, the buttons on the back as far as, you know, doing the ground pound. Typically in Mario 64, you would press Z for that. So, you know, it's just something to be mindful of. Here I get to practice my Japanese reading abilities. Take a listen.
Kinira nu e. Ore tachi ishi no okage de arigato gatara do nande o oi monku ga anara hi pu. Damn it. Oh well, whatever. Whatever, I better just play it, right? Okay. What? I've never seen that before. Ah!
Nope, don't worry, I'm not going to make you try and listen to my Japanese anymore. But that was beautiful. Itsukishi desu. I'm really enjoying using this controller. Let's do a little real close-up comparison to the actual N64 controller now, shall we? Alright, here's a close-up of the controller. I do really like this transparent blue model. It reminds me of the old Game Boy Color models. I want to show you the back triggers and what they do. So like that, zoom in, and then there's another one there for crouch. So it's got Z and R on the back. And then on the left side, it also has Z and L. Very interesting. There's space for the transfer pack in the back, and you know, it's kind of unique that they have Z on both sides. It takes getting used to, though. I'm still not entirely accustomed to that. D-pad is in a pretty whack location, and the start button is a little high up, but I really can't be too mad at that. Hey, look, here's the original N64 controller. Looks very similar. The A and B buttons and C buttons and all are really similar. I think when you look at the control stick, it's a little different. The one on the Retrobit controller reminds me more so of a GameCube nub, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I know a lot of people dislike the N64 nub. I know people have talked about their hands burning out when they played Mario Party. I've never had that happen, so I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I want you to take a look at my hand placement on both of them, though. Notice how on the N64 controller, the standard model, my hand fits around this naturally. I don't know if it's because I grew up with this thing, so my hands have been kind of molded for it, but when I put my hands on this thing, I actually have to keep them out a little bit, so it's a little weird pushing down on the back triggers. This reminds me of like a Dreamcast controller, but if it was shrunk down in size. Now, I don't think much of the Dreamcast controller, but this is not what I would call the most egalitarian solution. And honestly, it's fine. I get enough good usage out of it. All right, now I'd like to take you into a little contest. Which one has the longer cord? Let's find out. On the left, we have the standard Nintendo 64 controller. On the right, the Retrobit. And the winner is, ding, 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 Retrobit. You get like an extra foot of cord here. That is amazing, especially if you're trying to play spaced out on the bed. Absolutely love it. So let me talk generally about my feelings for this controller. I like it for what it is. I don't think it fits my hands the same way like a GameCube controller might, and I don't necessarily regret that. I would like if it was like a bit more comfortable, like for my hands personally. I just have bigger hands, but if somebody had small hands, they would probably enjoy this controller. I could see a kid playing the N64 with this controller and having a blast. It works for what it is. As it is, the N64 doesn't have dual analog support. You know, you have the C buttons and the right and left triggers to aim the cameras. That's how the games were programmed. So for what it is, it works well. It's not going to fix a game that had camera issues in the first place, but it will alleviate some of the stressors of putting your left hand in the middle on the standard N64 controller. It's a good product. I like Retrobit. I like what they do, and I'm happy with the overall product. Would I recommend it? Yes, especially to the N64 fans and collectors out there. So that's it for me, Majora T. I hope you enjoyed my look at this controller. Let me know if you want to see more N64 content. I'm going to do it anyway, but you should subscribe and stay tuned if you want to see more. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all later. You know, we're really mashing things up today. We've had Super Nintendo, we have Nintendo 64. What else could we bring? Let me think. Oh, I know, a special guest to break down the 35th anniversary Mario Nintendo Direct. Let's have a little look, shall we?
But it also has one of the coolest power-ups, I think, of any Mario game.
Dory?
I love finding Emo.
Mario.
Welcome. We are here in a mashup with Mr. Mashup himself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, VG Mashup.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Really excited to be here.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you back on. We're doing a mashup for not the month of Mario, but Mario content nonetheless.
Yes, and content it was, quite a bit of it, all in one complete package.
You know, I felt I had to kind of like equal out the balance because I was doing so much Sonic content. I didn't want to piss off all the Mario diehards out there.
Hey, absolutely. Mario is a legend. He's a legend for a reason, and we all love his content. So this was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I worry that sometimes it's like, you know, both games can be great. Like I really like Sonic. I also really like Mario. I have nothing against either as far as their games or the characters.
Yeah, they all bring their charm, and you know, whether you're a fan of Mario, Sonic, or both, in my eyes, if you like either one of them, you're a winner.
A winner is you.
Winners.
So we're actually gonna debrief the Nintendo Direct that was the 35th anniversary for Super Mario. And, you know, just a little footnote about it. We're doing this recording maybe like a week after the fact, and this will go up maybe a month after the fact. I'm not sure yet. But, you know, with like the direct reactions, I know a lot of YouTubers like to do them right away. Like, oh my God, the direct sucked. You know, I don't think either of us are that kind of YouTuber. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, it's one of those things where everybody gets the initial reaction and the videos get kind of overwhelming. It's the same kind of stuff. But I think in this format, it makes more sense because you can kind of sit back, sink in all the information that was presented, and then come up with a more comprehensive, your own personal feeling of what you thought of the event, rather than sort of reacting to what all the others are saying in the moment.
Most definitely. So with that, we're going to go down the list of the games in order of announcement. Any objections?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Let's
it's Mario time.
It's me, Majora T, and VG Mashup here today, and we're going to start with the first one, the Super Mario Bros. Game & Watch, slated for November 13th. Start with impressions. What did you think of the announcement?
So first off, Game & Watch to me means a lot because in one of the videos that I made a long, long time ago, I said that was my very first introduction to the character of Mario while playing Donkey Kong on the Game & Watch. So when I saw this, I was excited. And I know it's a little gimmicky, but it definitely touches that nostalgic nerve. And I'm actually one of the guys that, I can see myself getting this product for nothing else than to just have that connection to the past.
I remember your first response to the button mappers. You were talking about, I think it was like the Donkey Kong Game & Watch or something.
Yep, that's what it was.
And you went to that store with your dad, and you got
yes.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's that. When I saw this, I was like, oh man, that definitely reminds me of the good old times back in the day. So I can see myself, at least with this product, going and getting myself back in that moment. It was a good announcement, I think. It was a good touch.
Mm-hmm. I think what's really cool is, well, first off, I'm a 90s boy, so like I didn't grow up with a Game & Watch. That was before my time. But I did play like the Game & Watch Gallery games on the Game Boy Advance, which like was a compilation of a bunch of them. But it's not like playing the original unit, where it's like the actual, like they're selling you a console with a game. It reminds me of like the Tiger, handhelds, those shitty things. So it's like, the black and white screens. What I really like about this one is like they have like the original Super Mario Bros. Game as opposed to just like the black and white Game & Watch game.
In addition to, I think there's a Game & Watch game on there as well. So I think it has the original Game & Watch game that I personally did not play. But the Super Mario Brothers game itself with some Game & Watch touches. And of course, they specified that this is going to be a watch as well, which was pretty cool.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Game & Watch game. It was like a juggling one, and
I never played. If there was one, I never played it personally, but I'm assuming that it was part of the Game & Watch back in the day, or something similar. I don't know.
They did something weird to Mario's figure. He's all lanky right now. He's like a blend of Mario and Luigi.
Yep.
And Game & Watch. Oh,
yeah.
Something.
So, do you think that was a good way to open the show?
Yeah, I think so. That's a good way to bring like the retro fans in. I think a lot of younger gamers probably know Game & Watch anyway from Smash Brothers. So it's a history lesson. I always think that's really cool in a panel, is like to give you more information about the characters.
Yeah, that's a great point. Never thought of it that way, but yeah. The things that Smash Brother has done for the community as a whole is pretty impressive, and that's one of them. History lessons.
100%. We're going to go next to Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury.
Now, this one was a really cool... Once again, so I'm going to go back to one of my videos that I talked about. Wii U exclusives, and here we go. A Wii U exclusive that is an exclusive no more. I really, really enjoyed Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. And one of the cool things about it, I said in that video, was the music itself. And I think even with Mario games, there's some games that you really like the music for, some that are like okay or whatever. But for this particular one, Super Mario 3D World, the music was perfect for me personally. And of course, the gameplay was a lot of fun. And I really, really like the fact that they're adding a new level feature, whatever it's going to be, to it.
I haven't played it first off because I got into the Wii U late. I have it hooked up right now, but 3D World is one I've been interested in playing. I didn't actually consider it from the music perspective. I like 3D Land for that reason on the 3DS. There's actually some real hidden gems of video game OST there. I don't know if the game is right for me the way it's like. I don't know if you'd say it's the way it's intended to be played as like the co-op, everyone joins together and gets in the fun. I think I've tried like that kind of platforming experience with Rayman before, and it was okay, but it was just weird navigating everyone's skill levels.
Yeah, the co-op aspect, I never played. I don't even remember if it did have co-op or not on the Wii U. I mean, I usually play by I think maybe one of my kids joined me for some of the missions. But Rayman, to me, is a very different game than Mario. It's a lot more action-oriented. This is not the case with Mario. It is timed. It is, going through 3D, pseudo 3D levels and basically utilizing a lot of Mario's powers, which, can be good for some, bad for others. I don't know. But for me personally, I really had a great time with Super Mario 3D World.
I would be interested in this is, I guess, a throwback to like Mario 2 where you got to pick the characters, but like replaying the game as Peach or like Toad, I think this game, isn't this like the progenitor for Toad's Treasure Tracker?
Yes, indeed it is. And that's another thing that I really enjoyed about 3D World was introducing basically a whole new game to us through Toad's Treasure Tracker that I really enjoyed the levels, and I'm sure I'm not alone. A lot of people did, because then all of a sudden we got this whole new series in the Mario universe. And yeah, for that alone, it's also a very solid title to try out. Very different game. Puzzle, no jumping, no Marioisms at all. Just a simple kind of manipulation of the camera and just fun puzzle adventure, I guess.
Aye, Captain. Captain Toad.
Captain Toad, yep. That was a great point. I completely forgot about that, but yeah.
I think I might get it. If anything, I might just get it on Wii U. I don't know if I need the extra content, but yeah, no, I'm interested. The next announcement was Super Mario Bros. 35, a timed exclusive for Nintendo Switch Online service owners. And what this is like what a Battle Royale Mario Bros. Edition, if that makes sense. It really doesn't, but it
doesn't. It doesn't.
It, like in words, it doesn't, but the way they showed it, it does.
Yeah. So in words, it doesn't. And I think, if I am not mistaken, this was actually a idea that was initially created by some person on the internet, and they tried to publish the game or basically Nintendo took them down and said, "Oh no, you can't do that to our IP." Nintendo is very particular about that, and this idea was initially, to my knowledge, introduced by just a fan of Nintendo. So I don't know how I feel about this in particular. I don't like anything that is a timed exclusive. That's like no in my book, personally. It kind of feels like they're just trying to get you to sign up to Nintendo Online. And I mean, the concept seems cool and all, but just the way Nintendo is going about it, I'm personally not a fan of that.
I'm with you. I absolutely hate anything where it's like, you must buy this game before this time. I own the Nintendo service online anyway, so like I have access to this game as soon as October 1st, which is when it will drop.
Same for me.
I don't know if like this is the right format. I think that they should just put this thing on the phones. I bet the kids would eat it up.
Yeah, I agree. Phones would be nice, and also just the acknowledgement that this was, the whoever, maybe just some type of a footnote or something that, hey, this idea was created by you guys, the fans, instead of sort of taking their idea and putting it as their own. I don't know if that's what they're doing or not, but maybe just some sort of acknowledgement that, hey, yeah, you guys thought of this, so here it is. We brought it over to you. Something that would be a nice gesture.
It would. I think that's maybe too far above them.
Too far above them, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it would be nice to see that.
Definitely. I know with like Sonic Mania, they brought on like the fan creators. That I don't think Nintendo does that. So I don't know. I'd be interested in knowing more about it though, if there's like, information out there.
Personally, after playing Fall Guys all this time, I don't think there is a better formula out there for these battle royales than that. So we'll wait and see.
Sounds good. The next one announced.
Oh man, that is a great conversation, and there's more. Be sure to check out the full video on my YouTube page here at Majora T. It's about a 30-minute video where we really go into the ins and outs of the whole Direct. In the meantime, be sure to stay tuned for a close-up look at one of the titles mentioned in the Nintendo 35th Direct anniversary. I got that wrong. The Nintendo Direct, the 35th anniversary. That.
We are going to do what makes Mario Mario. We're going to swim.
Here I am. It's me, Majora T, here today for Mario, my boy, the plumber that I like to go to when my drainage is having problems, brought to you by my sink that goes off every time I'm doing a podcast. I'm here today to give my impressions, much in the vein of SNES Mapper with his impressions, for a Mario game that I got recently. I was very excited for it. It's not a new Mario game per se, but it is 3 classic Mario games. It is Super Mario 3D All-Stars for the Nintendo Switch, a compilation of the legacy 3D platformer Mario games, Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Interesting enough, they don't have Super Mario Galaxy 2 on here, but we could talk about that a little later. I want to say this compilation is perceived several ways. Namely, I think people look at this and say this is lazy work by Nintendo, and they're just re-releasing old games and people get excited for them. And I understand the criticism, especially if you own all of these games already. But I think the novelty of Super Mario 3D All-Stars has to be the platform that it's on, above and beyond all else. I own the N64, I own the GameCube, I own the Wii, and I own 2 out of 3 of these Mario games. And, the one that I don't own costs as much as this game for a used copy, that's complete. And that kind of sucks, but I guess that's testament to how great the games are that are in here. One thing I especially love about the Super Mario 3D All-Stars on the Switch is controller compatibility. Now, each of these 3 games works differently with the controller, and some of it's based on the the physics programmed into each game. Some just make more sense than others. Like I know, for instance, with Mario 64, I had tried playing it with the Joy-Cons, and I just couldn't get my running and jumping right. But when I used my Wireless Pro controller, it was like magic. I really had the precise aiming and everything that I needed. Something I couldn't even get with the GameCube controller. And then when I played Mario Sunshine, I actually didn't dabble with it with my GameCube controller, but I did use the Pro controller, and I absolutely loved dual analog support. You're able to use the right stick here to control the camera, which is great. That's not something you even get with the GameCube controllers. Mario Galaxy was a little different, so I dabbled with the Pro Controller for it, and it just wasn't making much sense. So eventually I switched over to the Joy-Cons, and these are a more natural fit. They really make the game feel like it was played on the Wii, but without some of the nuisances, such as lining up with the sensor bar, because you're able to always reset the camera angle, and also the wire that goes from the nunchuck to the Wiimote. It's kind of nice that you don't have to use batteries like in the Wiimote pack, etc. So I happen to enjoy playing each of these 3 games respectively in that manner. Now I want to walk through the list and just talk about my feelings of each game as it is on the compilation, and even my desirability for it. So I'll start Mario 64. Now, I love Mario 64. I love the Nintendo 64. So of course I'm happy to see Mario 64 getting representation on the Nintendo Switch. I know a lot of people would probably be like, well, they should open up the Nintendo 64 service, let you buy the games, let you download the games. And I get it. I have the Wii U, so I can do that for like the 20 or so odd games that are on there. But this isn't simply a port. This really looks the part. I would say that the graphics in the new upscaled Super Mario 64 even rival those of Super Mario Galaxy on the compilation. And that's really kind of a beautiful thing that they didn't just port the N64 version. As far as I know, the only other legitimate version of Mario 64 is Mario 64 DS. And everyone knows, like, you put that on a TV and it's not looking great. I happen to really like playing Mario 64. I actually got really sucked into it when I was just testing this compilation out, and it's one I could easily see myself going through the works for, and completing, getting 100%, etc., and really just enjoying it. So I enjoy Mario 64 being on here. Super Mario Sunshine was definitely the highlight for me. If this game was not on this compilation, I probably would not have bought it. I used to own Mario Sunshine, and I remember just it being such a calm, tranquil, peaceful experience in spite of some of the challenge, like the Shadow Mario sections and even like some of the bigger boss battles that come on later. And I've always been really nostalgic for it, wanting to play it again. And this is the perfect opportunity for that. I love the fact that a GameCube game made its way onto here, and it really does look good, like it's fitted for the HD TV. I have an upscaler for my GameCube to HD TVs, and even that's not perfect. I'd say they outdid what that is capable of here on this compilation. So that's one thing that makes me really happy. And of course, you have the controller support. So I happen to have the GameCube controller adapter. So if at any time I wanted to play that game authentically, the way it was meant to be played, I could just put my controller in here that I own for my actual GameCube and play it that way. But as I was saying, I happen to really enjoy it with the classic controller, or the Pro Controller for the Nintendo Switch, because of the dual analog support. Again, this game, Mario Sunshine on the GameCube, is as expensive as this compilation. So to me, that was like a duh, I'm going to get the new game that's coming out on Switch to play it. Now, perhaps the biggest surprise for me was Mario Galaxy. I've played this game several times. I enjoyed it. And to me, I was like, okay, I'm done with it. I'll probably never play it again. It's sitting over there on my shelf with my other Wii games. But when I started playing this game with the Joy-Cons, I could really feel the magic and the differences between Galaxy and the other games that are, the 3D Mario platformers. And I don't necessarily prefer one like that physics engine over the others. I happen to enjoy kind of like the running, dashing, and like the stationed on Earth kind of Mario experience. But that's not to say Galaxy is without its merits. I think even just playing through the first world here, where you're going from like little like star to star and then collecting the big stars, you really get the sense that Mario is small and tiny in comparison to this massive world. And I think the fact that like you can now experience that on your Switch is kind of beautiful. It's like it really makes me appreciate the game in a different light. So, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, if you can get it, is to me a good compilation. Now, here in the YouTube community, we happen to own a lot of these games as it is, so this game is obviously not worth it for everyone. But as far as my general impressions go, I'm not going to sell off like my copy of Mario 64 on the 64 or my copy of Mario Galaxy. Well, maybe, because like I don't know if I need to own that anymore for the Wii. But this is very welcome in my Switch collection. Being able to experience some of the best Mario games, in fact, so many of them in one home console, is a beautiful thing. Super Mario Odyssey, the 2D games through the Nintendo Switch Online service. I've now played Super Mario World on that. You could play the new pixely versions of Mario 1, 2, and 3 with the Super Mario 2D All-Stars. There's, great other spin-off titles. I really like Mario and Rabbids. That's pretty cool. And now you can couple that up with some of the best, if not the best, 3D platformers of their time and even of our time today. Those are my impressions of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Let me know in the comments, is this a compilation you have picked up or are planning to pick up? And if you already picked it up, well, good on you. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all soon. So we've seen Marios of old, Marios of new. We've seen many a Mario. We've seen mini Marios and we've seen major Marios. But we have many more Marios to see, and that can't be a bad thing. Speaking of the future, we've actually got a voicemail number that you can dial and call in to the show and let us know what you think, comments, questions, feedback. The number is 917-267-8313. We actually got a voicemail from longtime friend of the show, Spencer. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Teddy, this is Spencer. Just wanted to leave a little comment about your show, Majora T. I like the speak segments. I think they're real great. I was just curious what your opinion on the next-gen situation is. Obviously, we've heard from Microsoft and we've heard from Sony about what they're doing, and maybe little glimpses of what Nintendo's doing, although I think the Switch is going to be here for a while. But where do your allegiances lie and all that? Like, are you a Sony guy, a Microsoft guy, or you're sticking to Nintendo for now? I think everybody would like to hear that and hear your thoughts and why. So I can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to keep watching your show, and hopefully the new episodes are just as good as the most recent ones. We're on an upward trajectory. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Oh,
Bye.
what a gentleman. I really appreciate Spencer. Thank you for calling in and letting me know what you think, as well as dropping a question. I think you should know me by now. I have no allegiance to any of these companies. They do nothing for me. I do a lot for them. I buy their games. I buy their products. I support them. I support the ones I like. I don't like anything to do with modern gaming. I don't like the idea of buying a new console at launch, especially when there are no games out for it, or the supply is super limited and there's no differences to what I already own. I think if I think about myself, I'm probably a Nintendo fan. I own many Nintendo consoles. I would have been a Sega fan, in the modern day if they continued their line. I own most of the modern Sega consoles. But that also doesn't mean I'm going to jump on board of whatever Nintendo is doing. I've always been more critical of them because I appreciate their work. I did not jump on the Wii U bandwagon when that was thriving. I did not jump on the Switch bandwagon intentionally. And I think I'm hard pressed to a lie strictly with Nintendo when I see how good the competitors do at different things. I happen to love my PlayStation 4. I've gotten a lot of usage out of it. The Switch is really cool, but when it comes to the perspective of the library and what it can offer me, the PS4 just has it beat hands down. And I also think if I owned an Xbox One, I could find enjoyment from it too. There's not much reason for me to have one, but I appreciate each of these consoles differently. Now, when it comes to the next generation of consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox whatever, I don't care. Those are doing nothing for me. I've yet to see a game that is so strikingly different from what I've experienced already that is yet to pull me into the next generation. With the PlayStation 4 generation, what it was, and even like the Switch, was surprising for a lot of people. It's Yooka-Laylee. I was a Kickstarter backer of that game, and as it was getting ready to get delivered, I went ahead and bought myself a PlayStation 4. And I really wanted Yooka-Laylee because it was a return to form to a genre that just seemed to be absent for so long. The Wii U didn't have that. They didn't have a 3D platformer besides Mario 3D World, and that's not really the same thing that like the Nintendo 64 fan in me was really craving. And what I would need to see to pull me into the next generation would be some kind of throwback that's not like already prevalent on the market. I hope that answers your question. You know me by now. I'm hard pressed to accept hype for anything really, but that doesn't mean I'm not open to it either. Thanks for the question, buddy, and thanks for y'all for staying tuned. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Majora Speaks. Thank you, VG Mashup, for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you go check him out on his YouTube channel. I will have a link in the description below, but that's it for me. Be sure to call in and leave a voicemail and also leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. I'll probably be theming my next one around something to do with, let's just say, the Halloween spirit or something along those lines. Probably do like one of them for the month, but we'll see what we can do. Thanks so much. Appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you soon. By the way, when Spencer's voicemail was playing, the computer was on mute, so I was just nodding my head. I was reading his text.